Hi, this is Jill from Simple Daily Recipes. Welcome to a new episode of Whole Food Plant Geek. And look who we have with us today. It's Dr. Pamela Popper. Yay! Thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure.
I feel like I'm talking to a movie star because, the first time I ever saw you
Oh.
was on Forks Over Knives, and you just rocked my world doing those, those stomach crunches, and you have the most impressive body, and I was like, I want to look like her. And when I saw you, I thought, she's the way doctors should look. All the nurses should look as good as Dr. Popper, but they don't. But I thought, you really set the bar for me to think, from now on, when I have to go and find a doctor, I want my doctor to look like her.
Well, thank you for your kind comments, and I agree with you. And it's kind of interesting because I've actually read studies that have evaluated the credibility that doctors give to their patients based on their appearance and even pictures in the office of them participating in athletic events. And there really is a lot to this idea that if you model good behavior, you can influence other people. So I agree with you. I think doctors and people who are in the health business should look like they practice healthy habits, and that's a shortcoming that we need to work on.
Not everyone knows. Dr. Popper has come out with a new book called Food Over Medicine, The Conversation That Could Save Your Life. I'm almost finished. I've got just a tiny bit left, and man, this is a great book, and I love the format that you and Glenn Mercer took in making it a conversation instead of just a dry book about diet, disease, and nutrition. It was so much easier to read, and I feel like it didn't take me any time to get through it. And you guys just really, really nailed a lot of questions and uncovered a lot of truths, and it's a great book.
Well, thank you. And I give my co-author the credit. It was his idea to make this a conversation rather than a dry, just writing about these topics. And he said, we could probably cover a lot more ground if we do it this way than if we just write everything down. He's a marvelous, marvelous writer. And my ideas, but his writing style really made it a great book. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it was awesome. And yeah, there were so many times that I just thought, you're right up there with Dr. Campbell and Dr. Bernard and Dr. Esselstyn, and that, your years of experience, you don't hold back your punches on the truth, and lifting the veil of confusion, and it's so refreshing that that you're exposing the evidence and helping us to kind of clear away all this marketed confusion that we have. And I don't know, it's just awesome. It's so awesome, and it's awesome, and then it's sad at the same time that I think, gosh, there's so many medical professionals out there that don't have this same experience, and I wish that everybody were like you and the other doctors. And I don't know, how long do you think it'll take us where we could just have a whole nation full of Dr. Campbells and Dr. Poppers? And
well, I think we're on our way. The one thing that I'm encouraged about is that the internet has become a great resource for people to learn about these things. Let's face it, it's the best and the worst of humanity. We know what the worst part is, but the good part is that good news spreads quickly. And I see how much traffic we have coming into our office, people who've seen Forks Over Knives on Netflix, or they bought one of my books, or they subscribe to newsletters from Dr. Campbell and Dr. Barnard and that sort of thing. And so this stuff spreads really quickly. And I really think what's going to happen in the next 15 or 20 years is that there will be a consumer revolution that is going to change all of this. And I really think one day people will walk out of doctors' offices who don't know about diet and lifestyle, who are too happy with the prescription pad and don't really use the information that's in Food Over Medicine. And I think that's what will make the change happen. A lot of people thought for a while that we put pressure on Congress and government and that sort of thing. And I just don't think that's going to happen because I think government is too screwed up for people like you and I to fix. But I do think that people can vote with their checkbooks. And if you get enough of them doing it, you reach this tipping point that Malcolm Gladwell talks about in his books. And he wrote a book called The Tipping Point. And I've actually given some thought to this. And I think if we get about 30 million people in this country who make decisions differently in terms of the types of doctors they go to and the way they take care of themselves, we'll put a lot of financial pressure on the system and it will start to change and medical care will start to change. Not just the food, but medical care will change too.
Yes. Yes, that you're right. And I was so glad to see that on your website, thewellnessforum.com, that you have listed the Wellness Forum network. So if we don't know where to find a plant-based doctor, or you've got them all listed right there. So there's hope that we can. And I just pray all the best that that list can just grow and grow and grow. I was excited to see that there were 2 Texas doctors. I was like, yay! I just have to move.
Well, we want to build that network, not only that they're plant-based, but that they're evidence-based. Because
yes.
One of the points that I wanted to make in Food Over Medicine is that you got to get this diet thing right. And if you don't do that, it's going to matter. But you also have to be very careful about things like diagnostic testing and supplements and all kinds of other things. It's possible to eat a really excellent diet and still be victimized by practitioners who aren't following the evidence when they make recommendations about how to take care of yourself. So I want to make sure that these people understand the importance of plant-based nutrition, but that they understand the rest of this stuff too, so that they don't lead people astray.
Is there a place, is there a way for doctors to go back and get educated? Yeah.
We actually started a school, the Wellness Forum Institute for Health Studies, and we offer 2 programs right now that we're very excited about. One is a certification course for people who've already been to medical school or dietetic school or nursing school, and it's taught by people like me, John McDougall, Neil Barnard. We also have people talk about mental health and vaccinations and cancer and all kinds of other things too. And we offer that course every summer. It's a 15-week program, 39 hours. You get CME credits for nursing, or registered dietitians can get their continuing education. And what we do is we teach people how to practice like the rest of us. And so that's one way. We have another program called Nutrition Educator, which is an alternative to traditional dietetics. And we're going to graduate our first group of nutrition educators next year. And we're hoping to really grow that program too. It's very, very difficult curriculum. You have to take 2 graduate level semesters of statistics, and you got to take chemistry and biochem and microbiology and all the hard sciences, and then take specific disease courses. So these people know how to prescribe nutritional protocols for diabetics and cancer patients and HIV patients and that sort of thing. So there are ways to learn, even as limited as health education can be in our country right now. We're hoping to do our little part to contribute to making it better. We get growing enrollment every year. These doctors are open-minded, they're anxious to learn, and dietitians and other health professionals too. And it's exciting to see, first of all, them learning all this good stuff. But the other thing is the growing number of them that really do want to know. We all have this picture in our mind of the arrogant doctor who's not open-minded and doesn't want to hear about this stuff. And there are some of those people out there, but there are also some wonderful doctors who are saying, look, I know that my knowledge base is limited. I want to do better. I want to help people really enjoy optimal health, not just medicate them. And those are the ones that are signing up to take this class and then changing their practices. And I'm so excited because one of them has even come in to open an office in our facility. So we now have an in-house osteopathic physician here at the Wellness Forum.
Awesome. Congratulations. That's awesome. So I brought up resolutions because one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, we're Christmas is just next week, and that will kind of end that our us gorging on our sweets and our rich foods for the holidays, and New Year's is going to roll around. It's time for us to beat ourselves up and tell ourselves to quit and do something new, so I really wanted to have something more positive for us to focus on. And I know there's so many of the Simple Daily Recipes audience out there that, we're all just trying to make the best of it, and we want to make changes and we want to convert, but it is a little, what to do first, And so I thought I would pick your mind and ask you, what would be some, easy ways for us to kickstart our new year, eating better and changing our health.
Okay, that's a great question. And the first thing is we don't even have to wait for the new year. I just put out a message this morning saying that I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. You act on good information when you have it. And if now is when you have it, then now is when you go for it. But all that aside, I think the first thing that I would emphasize is that although it sounds counterintuitive, the bigger the change you make, the more likely you'll be able to stick with it. So I think when you get ready to do this, and hopefully it's like right now when you're listening to this, you just decide, okay, I'm going to eat an optimal diet. I'm going to eat a health promoting diet. I'm going to change my health, protect my health, regain my health, which some people listening to this might need to do. And so the first thing you do is you just clean out the house of all the stuff, get it out of your house that you're not supposed to eat. And the reason is because you don't want to play willpower games with yourself in the kitchen. You know, I know a lot about this, but I got to tell you something. At 10 o'clock at night, there are grapes or cookies or soy ice cream or what. Sooner or later, the bad stuff wins out, right? So I don't have anything bad in my house, and that keeps me from going down the wrong path. The second thing is people think, oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard, and it really isn't. So you only need a handful of things to make. So, you know, breakfast is pretty easy. Oatmeal and raisins and a banana, and you're good to go. You know, lunchtime and dinner, lunches that are leftover dinners, really, that's what I do. Yeah. And so let's think of how we can do this. And the first thing is, think of some things that you already make that are okay. And people will say, well, like, I make a really good vegetable soup. All right, well, we don't even have to change anything, right? So you make a big pot of vegetable soup and solid and vegetable soup is a meal. And if you can think of 3 or 4 things like that, write them down. The next thing is think of 3 or 4 things that if you just cleaned them up a little bit, they'd be better and they would be fine on this diet. So people say, well, I love pasta. Okay, well, how about some whole wheat pasta and a marinara sauce that doesn't have meat in it and toss in some broccoli and vegetables and make a big salad? Okay, we didn't have to do much to that. You already like it. This is the type of food you eat. So you probably have 3 or 4 things that you can do that are like that. And then the third thing is pick up the Forks Over Knives cookbook or Food Over Medicine. Just pick up one of these cookbooks written by us, you know, in this group. Pick 2 or 3 things that you want to be kind of adventuresome and try, like they look tasty to you, and make those. And there you have it. You'll have, you know, 6, 8, 10 different recipes, and that's enough to get you started. And then that's just the beginning of this. And then you can, over time, learn what you like a lot of, what you like better, some things more than others, and develop a new repertoire of recipes. And that's as simple as it is. And then go to the grocery store, buy the things you need to make those things, and buy lots of fresh fruits and vegetables and that sort of thing, so you can make great big salads. And, you know, it doesn't have to be complicated food at all. It just has to taste good to you.
Now, I noticed that on the Wellness Forum when I'm looking on the website, and there's an opportunity to become a member. Now, do I have to be sick to be a member, or is it for anybody to be a member?
Anybody can be a member, and while a lot of people who come to us come because they have health challenges and they want to resolve them, we have a growing number of people who are starting to understand that if you're fortunate enough to be in good health right now, that the best thing to do is to make sure it stays that way. Yeah. And the only way to do that is to change your diet and lifestyle habits. I mean, we don't have any magic pills out there that will help people regain their health from some of these diseases, you know, or prevent diseases. So the best thing you can do is to change your diet now.
Where do we learn to sort through the evidence, or how do you learn, you know, do I have to take a subscription to, you know, research papers, or, you know, it seems overwhelming, you know, because I'd rather watch you on your YouTube channel, you know, when you do the Tuesday, Thursday videos, you know, those are awesome. And watching Dr. Michael Greger on nutritionfacts.org, I mean, that seems a lot easier. But where would I even learn to sort through the information?
Well, there are several things. First of all, part of our Wellness 101 course, which is a membership benefit, helps people to understand the difference between good science and bad science. And it's a big issue because right now there's so much information published in journals that you can find a study to document almost anything that you want. I mean, and I always use this example. There are studies that show that smoking isn't harmful. And they're published in good medical journals like the New England Journal of Medicine. So I could do a workshop saying, you know, and use these really good journal articles, and people would say, well, gosh, maybe I misunderstood the whole thing. Well, the problem is the preponderance of the evidence certainly doesn't show that smoking is okay. And so I would be taking a lot of things out of context in order to make that point. So we help people understand the difference between good research and bad research, and the fact that somebody cites a single study that says it's okay to do something doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. And we do that in Wellness 101, and then we do a lot of other programming designed to help people understand that too. I think the best advice I could give just in terms of a soundbite to help people sort through this is that if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And remember this, people love to hear good news about their bad habits. So, if you want to find a study or you want to look for a headline that says eating chocolate every day is good for you, you can find it. But it sounds a little bit too good to be true, and actually it is.
Yeah. Dang it. I have a couple of questions. We're almost out of time. I have a couple of questions from some of our readers, and I hoped that I won't do all of them, but I know that Amanda asked, are there any foods recommended for hormonal acne, or are there any, or does food have any, or does food matter in either way? Does that make sense?
Well, food matters. First of all, one of the leading causes of hormonal imbalances, which lead to everything from PMS, infertility, one of the leading causes of those imbalances is food. The answer is yes, food matters. Now, the second part of this question is very important, and it doesn't just pertain to this issue, it pertains to so many others too. And that is that people will frequently write to me or call and ask about, what food should I eat if I want to solve this problem, if I want to solve that problem. I tell them, what, there are no magical foods or nutrients. That if you eat the diet outlined in my book and that most of us are promoting in this plant-based community, you'll solve all your health issues, but you got to do the whole dietary pattern. You can't just eliminate this food and add that food or take this nutrient supplement. It really is the pattern that counts.
And I did see in Food Over Medicine, you do point out the Wellness Forum's pyramid there and explain that very well. So yeah, everyone, if you don't have Food Over Medicine, you need to pick it up. It truly is an awesome book, and it covers so many questions that we have about diet and nutrition and diseases, and uncovers a lot of evidence, and it's just really going to get rid of the confusion. It's a truly awesome book. Get this for Christmas, but get this for your Christmas list. Make it part of the first thing you want to start reading for the new year. Okay, Pam, we're out. Dr. Popper, we're out of time. Thank you so much for your time and all this information.
Thank you for having me.
This is awesome. It was awesome.
Thank you so much for having me, and hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again soon.
Oh, we're gonna meet each other come in January. You're gonna be at the New Year, New You Health Fest in Marshall, Texas. And so I'll be there. That's just a couple. So
will Chef Dell, the author of the recipes.
Yeah,
he will be there too.
I cannot wait to meet you. I want you to sign my book. All right.
Of course I will do that. I'll look forward to that.
Awesome. All right, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.